What's happening right now in the housing market should shock anybody who's looking to buy or sell a home in 2025.
Oh yeah, did it shock us?
It totally shocked me. I was expecting the exact opposite to happen, which just goes to show you that you probably shouldn't trust every headline that you read.
So what's happening?
We're already seeing early signs that the housing market is going to boom in 2025. And it's surprising because of articles like this one that are saying that prices are dropping and inventory is climbing and sellers are having a hard time selling, but it's just not giving an accurate view of everything that's happening.
And I suppose we're going to get an accurate view of everything that's happening today.
In today's video, I'm going to give you the 3 data points that I think tell me that there's going to be a booming housing market in 2025.
All right, give me a data point then.
All right, pending sales are up a lot. This week in the Triangle MLS, 67% more homes went under contract than in the same week last year.
Is that like the whole triangle or just the cities?
That's the entire triangle, so it includes lots of rural areas. The numbers get even crazier if we pull out all of that rural data and just look at Wake County. If we just look at Wake County, 80% more homes have gotten under contract this week than in the same week last year.
That's pretty huge.
That's incredible. The last time, it's only one other time in 20 years that has happened, and that was in December of 2019. Even back in 2006 and 2007, we did not see this kind of pending sales data in the early part of December. It's just very unusual. And if you don't remember, 2006 and 7 were those years that were leading up to the 2008 housing market meltdown. And those years were particularly busy. There was so much demand in the market. And the thing was, it wasn't real demand. It was from lenders lending to people that weren't really qualified to buy homes. So it was really due to loan fraud. But it's different now. Right now, buying a home and getting a mortgage is much more difficult than it was back in 2006 and 7. So this is real buyer demand, not demand based on loan fraud.
So we have one good week in December, and that means that 2025 is going to be a big year?
If it was just one big week in December and nothing else, yeah, that probably wouldn't be an indicator of 2025 being a great year. But when we combine that with the relocation data that I'm seeing, it's a really big sign.
All right, so tell me about the relocation data.
It's a lot of numbers. I think we need to go back to the studio.
All right, fair enough. But it's a beautiful day.
It is a beautiful day. December in North Carolina. Oh, gorgeous. According to Redfin, the relocation boom has finally started to slow down. There's been a 3% decrease in people looking to relocate since this time last year. But even with the reduction in relocation, according to Redfin's data from September 2024 to November 2024, North Carolina is still the #2 place in the country for relocation moves, second only to Florida. They didn't give the exact data by state, but if a 3% decrease is the national average, it makes sense that North Carolina is still seeing a growing relocation market, and this plays out in both cultural stories and in other data sets. In September, Travel and Leisure magazine called Raleigh the #1 city for quality of life on the East Coast, and just this week, 2 Wake County towns made the top 10 list for Move Buddha's booming towns. They used job market data to rank Cary and Wake Forest on their list. If someone's moving to West Cary, what's your favorite part of it? What should they know about it?
Well, if you have a family, this is the perfect spot because there's a lot of like new young families that just moved. A lot of parks like this one, and probably like 5 more parks that are within like probably 2 miles of this one.
We chose here like Raleigh, closer to, I had some options, and amongst those options I wanted something like more nature related.
Yeah.
So I guess it was a good choice.
What were the other options?
California and New York City.
So we decided to move here because of the climate, and instead of going way up to New York where the other son lived.
Using search data from the Move Buddha moving cost calculator, we found that among more than 210,000 move inquiries made so far in 2024, just 43 American suburbs are popular with movers and are in metros that have above average growth. So we're still attracting people relocating from across the country, but at the same time, we don't have a lot of people leaving the Triangle. In fact, in 2023, our net population change in Wake County alone was was 19,497 people. We added that many people to our population, and this is putting a huge demand on the housing market. But how much of the housing inventory is actually being purchased by this increasing population? Let's do some math. If we gained 19,000 people, and we know that the average household size is 2.51 people, and we know that 65% of those households are homeowners, that means that roughly 5,049 homes were purchased by people who were new to Wake County. That's 33% of all homes sold in 2023. But here's the rub. Even though 33% of homes that were sold were needed to support the increased population, only 30% of home sales in 2023 were new construction in Wake County. So in 2023, we didn't quite build enough homes for the number of families who moved here. We were 3% short. If we look at it from the perspective of building permits, the story looks similar. Between January 2022 and September 2024, Wake County issued 7,411 building permits for residential new construction homes. So in 33 months, Wake County issued roughly 224 building permits per month. But we had 647 households moving here each month. Let's do that same math. If 65% of them wanted to buy homes, which is the national average, that means that 420 households each month wanted to buy homes, but we only built 224 houses for them. So we were short 196 houses per month, or 2,352 houses per year. Those households are renting because we didn't build enough houses for them. And remember, that's cumulative. It's been happening every year since COVID, and probably before that, to be honest. So if the spiking pending sales data and the increasing population were the only two things at play here, I probably wouldn't think we were going to sell a lot of homes this year. There's one more puzzle piece that we need to create a fantastic real estate market this year, and that is housing inventory. New home construction is on the upswing. In 2024, we actually built quite a bit more housing than we did in 2023. In 2023, there were 16,645 homes listed in Wake County, and in 2024, so far, we've listed 19,161. That's a 15% increase from 2023. Based on the amount of inventory available right now, Cary, Apex, Holly Springs, and Garner are all in sellers markets with less than 3 months of inventory, but the housing inventory isn't evenly distributed throughout the triangle. Right now, Fuquay, Clayton, and Zebulon all have 6 months or more of inventory. 6 months is the amount that's considered a buyer's market. Typically in a buyer's market, there's more room for negotiation. We see a lot of price drops. Due diligence fees are low or non-existent. But before we jump to conclusions about skyrocketing inventory like that headline did, we need to look a little deeper. Remember I said that new construction inventory is about 30% of homes sold in the triangle? In these towns with the skyrocketing inventory, the ratios are a bit different. In Fuquay, Varina, and Zebulon, 55% of listings are new construction, and in Clayton, 48% of listings are new construction. Compare that to the areas that are sellers markets right now. Only 38% of sales in Apex were new construction, 35% in Garner, 21% in Holly Springs, and only 5% of sales were new construction in Cary this year. But the increased levels of inventory that makes it look like a buyer's market in the areas with a lot of new construction is actually normal this time of year. Most of these listings aren't even finished yet. They typically pull permits and then they list the home in the MLS once construction has gotten underway. These homes are being built in preparation for the demand that the builders expect in the spring market. And following the money isn't a bad idea here. Builders that have made it through these tough times aren't likely to gamble. They think these houses are going to sell. As an aside, I will say that there are likely some great deals in Clayton and Zebulon right now. In Clayton, there are 174 existing homes for sale, and only 15 of them are under contract. In Zebulon, there are 55 existing homes for sale with only 5 under contract. This is not including new construction, which is going to add a ton more housing to the market shortly. Now, I personally think that the spring market is going to eat up that inventory very quickly because of everything I just told you about the housing demand in the triangle. But if you're interested in the Clayton and Zebulon areas and you can get under contract before the new year, I think you can actually get a deal. If you like this video, YouTube thinks you'll like this one next.